Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. You know, on this program, we never have a subject matter. We speak about anything: politics, religion, socioeconomic issues, any issue trending. And there's a lot of issues trending in the world today. From the war between Russia and Ukraine. Russia is an imperial power. Ukraine is an independent country and should have a right to determine their own destiny like Grenada. To the situation in Israel, Israel is taking up Syria, not Syria, but Hamas and Hezbollah. It is said that Hezbollah is funded by Iran. Most of these countries do not recognize the Israelis' right to exist. And the Quran by Muhammad disallow agreements between Jews and Christians. Some Jews believe that Christians and infidels should convert or die. The Quran, in fact, recommends that if you leave your faith as a Muslim, you should die. And I always say that CARICOM governments and Africa should take a position where they could be respected by all and they could serve as a broker trying to bring these warring nations to peace. These people have been warring for 1,000 years and they have religious arguments, religious and historical arguments for the justification. So the best thing is to go to them to save lives and to have a negotiated settlement and peace. I believe if CARICOM and Africa had took this position, instead of picking up the guns, the sword, and join inside, it would be better. In Grenada here, we had the NNP, had the General Council. I based upon what I'm hearing, your General Council comes before your convention. And your convention is when you're likely to choose your leadership. This convention of the NNP perhaps is more significant than others because a leadership change is expected in the convention. So you can pick up a telephone and call me. The number to call is 4420175. In some areas, we've been having some challenge with 91.5. But I encourage people to help others with their phone. Quite a lot of people have phone and they have access to internet, but they don't know how to use the phone. Even a lot of the elderly, a lot of the males in particular, they don't know how to access the phone. So you can help them. That is the way young people. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
Like I'm opening the batting today.
Yeah, that's good.
I was watching at, normally let's watch at the conflict with Israel and Hamas and Yemen and Beirut. No, October 7th, Gaza and the Palestinians, they attack Israel, come inside the people land, they kill over 1,200. October 8th, Lebanon, the southern Lebanon was attacking the north of Israel, sending in bombs, forced residents to leave the place and have to go. If some people come back to their homes, there is no home to come back to. Now, what was the meaning for that? To bomb in what Israel have done to you? No, Israel responding now. Everybody looking at Israel as the wicked one. No, I'm not condoning war. I am not condoning. But you hardly hear people saying, look what this terrorizing group is doing. You will never hear that. But they're talking about what the same thing what Lebanon, what Gaza and the Palestinians are doing. The same thing Lebanon is doing. They put in ammunition into the homes of these people, and ammunition into the homes of these people place. So they find rockets, all this kind of thing in the homes of these people. You understand? So Israel no doing thing, and the people and the people is paying. The innocent one are paying for these things. Yeah. Now, as I said, I don't support in Noah. I don't support. A lot of innocent people have been killed, and who's to be blamed for it? Israel may have a part to be played too with throwing the bombs there, but at the same time, when you're fighting amongst the people, you're using them as human shields, right? That's from the international sense. Now, coming home to Grenada, I was thrilled with the General Council yesterday, and that is a wake up call. That is a wake up call. Now, I listened a clip from Carrico with Kim the King station, and he had a caller who called the station and was saying about the radio in the north of the country, and government need to pull out the ads because you cannot have government putting ads on that radio station, and that radio station is continuing to beating up on the government. No, if I was that government minister on that same program, I would have kept my mouth shut, even though I know what is happening. You publicly come out and say that he know they pull out some government ads on Real FM, but then the station is continuing to playing the ads free, of course, and hamburging their supporters. Their supporters getting harassed out of that. Now you should be glad they're playing they're playing the ads free. So that shows they publicly coming out and saying that they're victimizing the people. You attacking the medias. Now, where is the president of the Media Association to speak out against those things? You attacking the media, right? So because of the radio station having a 2NNP talk show, you having a problem with that. So you're going to pull out you ads from the radio station, and nobody else saying anything else, and you come out and publicly stating that you're victimizing the radio program, and your show is no remorse over that. Well, that don't surprise me. But what I'm trying to say, even though you're doing that, you should have kept your mouth shut. You come like a loose cannon there, and you show and you're letting the world know publicly that what your government is doing, victimizing every sector in this nation. You know, and it's time that we Grenadian people to speak out. Speak out. More people need to speak out against the victimizations and all the attack from this government. What is look again. School children, no meals for school children in the schools. Government is still paying school. The cooks and them and the cleaners in the school $700 and $800, and they're saying they don't have money, but a whole delegate of them go up in Carrico. One amount of them they go up in Carrico, so they just dry riding because of what Cox had said yesterday. So they may shame the shame. So they went up Carrico. This man, a whole delegate of them. And likewise, the children in the school are bawling nothing to eat for some of them. Some of them have to stay with their belly hungry until they reach back home to see what they can get. That is a government we get for our time. That is a government, and nobody is speaking out.
There is not fair,
color,
speak out against it. It's not fair to say nobody is speaking out. We have been on radio.
Nobody is speaking out.
No.
Yes, I know that.
Don't expect, but yes, you see, like you expect NDC, hardline NDC to condemn NDC. That is being unrealistic. We have been on the radio speaking out about these things. Don't say nobody.
People.
Otherwise, we come like nobody.
Forget we. Forget NNP.
No.
Independent-minded people should come out and speak out against these things. Independent-minded people.
You see,
come out and speak out. These are issues that affected our nation children, and we cannot stay quiet on these things. Yes, we are speaking about our voices are not enough. We need key people in society now to come out and speak out.
Caller, caller,
That is what I'm talking about.
caller.
It's not surprising to me.
You sometimes I don't know who people calling independent minded. We have enough experience in Grenada. Who are you referring to when you say independent minded people?
Okay, things like the churches need to speak out. Just as how they speak out then, they need to speak out now.
Well, the churches are not
Stakeholders,
independent
just as
minded.
how,
If the government
well,
is
of
taking an
course,
action directly against the church would speak out about it. But the churches would be, in their summons, they'll be encouraging people not to abandon the poor, to be generous, to be
right,
helpful, to be
right,
courteous, and
right.
almost
And just as how they speak out during the NNP time, just as how they speak out with the bishop and the next pastor from saying all others, they speak out against the farm administration. I know they could speak out on the same on these issues what are going on, what this country are facing today. Because because some of these people and them are they go into these churches and them and come on. Come on, these are things that they're supposed to speak out of. So if you want to be speaking out and claiming it back then, you're supposed to be claiming and speaking out at these issues today. That is what I'm trying to say here. Yeah.
okay.
So people need to speak out more. More people. Well, yeah, we are speaking out, but I find to me we are not enough to be speaking out there. Other key people need to speak out. Just as how they speak out back then, they need to speak out now. That is what I'm calling on. You
Okay.
cannot suffer any nation children and then your country, one man getting all in Dubai. These are things that we need to speak out on. Have a good day, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, thank you. Caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, good afternoon. I heard
Yes.
your previous caller refer to the church is not speaking out. When you speak out in the church, take for example what happened to Father Jared Paul. He spoke out about the atrocities being committed by the Israelis. But yet, what happened to him eventually? So the churches cannot speak out. They're not free. There's no freedom for them to speak out. And he was mentioning about Israel and Hezbollah and all of that. The Israelis are being supported by the U.S. government. They are lackeys of the U.S. and so they will always seem to appear to be right. And they will have support from a lot of conservative, backward thinking people, not progressive people.
I think it's unfortunate that you believe the people who are supporting Israel are backward thinking. Because the Islam consider the Jews as infidels. And they say, kill them. In the Quran, agreements is disallowed between Jews and Christians. So when you say those conservatives and you describe them as backward, already that position is very partisan. And nothing is wrong with being partisan. But one would describe it as not objective. Most of the Marxist, Leninist, communist countries do not support Israel or Christianity. Because they say religion is the opium of the people, the coke of the people, the drugs of the people. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon. Sir.
Yes, my brother, good day.
Yes. Now, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the one and only true God, the creator of heaven and earth, and everything in the universe, he said that he has made from one blood every nation of men to to dwell on all the face of the earth, and has determined their pre-appointed times and the boundaries of their habitation. Now, the Jewish people, the whole nation of Israel, our Heavenly Father gave them a land. He gave the boundaries. All those idiots and them that running them out, they should check what the facts in the scripture. Look at the history of Israel. Right? But we have those who decide, no, they want to wipe them out from the face of the earth. They have no right to exist. All of us as human beings, we need to understand who and what we are. We are just mortal men. There are those who don't believe in God. So be it. Right? If you don't believe, then you're going to pay the price. And if you believe, obey. Because the Jewish people have a right to their land. That land belongs to them. And regardless of what any man do or any man feel, they shall continue to exist in that land. And all the heathen who don't believe in the word of God, they should take the time, study the scripture, and see that they are fighting a losing battle. Look at what happened recently. Isn't that America? Isn't that America?
What?
And those who don't believe in God. Right? There is no nation on the face of the earth as powerful as Israel. Look at the size of Israel. Imagine a population of 7.5 million Jews. They are surrounded by over 2 billion enemies. And yet still, the enemies cannot triumph over them. And the day coming when the final battle will be fought. And when that final battle is fought in the land of Israel, all of us, we will see that the children of Israel shall prevail. Mr. Pierre, enjoy the rest of your day, sir.
Yes, scholar. United States of America and Britain and Europe, some of them support the Jews. And as a result of that, a number of Arab countries knows it will be a world war, and efforts is being made to avoid the tit for tat, or should say the escalated tit for tat, escalating into a regional conflict. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah, my brother.
How are you?
Great, man.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre, it was a wonderful day yesterday at the Trade Center with the General Council meeting, where a lot of information was given out to the people of the Caribbean people, giving them overseas worldwide of the achievement of NMP, world governance. Right? So it's up to the parents now to let the children and the grandchildren know. Because if they want the children to be educated and to go forward, to let them know the truth. Because you have a government outside there, the spreading of propaganda that NMP did not do anything while they were in government. The information is right in front of you. You know it. The children might know it. So you have to educate the children to know of the achievement. Who do that? Who build that? Because as children, Mr. Pierre, going to school, some of them may came up in the exam, and they need to know. So if we know that, and we want our children to be successful and achieve achieve great things, we have to let them know the truth. Who build that? But when you have one party trying to mislead the youth, and tell them things that MP do nothing, we who know, we have to encourage them and to let them talk to them and educate them, that let them know the truth. Let them know it, because the truth will set you free. It's that to go forward in life and to be successful, only the truth that will take you forward, not false information. Again, I want to talk about the Carriacou situation. Like this government, the real focus is on spreading propaganda. When you have the people, Carriacou and Peter Martin go through, in some instance in Grenadian burial, 80 or 95% of the household in Caribbean destroyed. And you have the government first the priority is to help two men build back the place. While you have schools, the health place in Caribbean need fixing back. But the government do see that's important. What is important? To to give a man or two businessmen money to help build back the place. So it comes now like this government, they don't care about the youth. They don't care about nobody besides themselves. And we say the youth is the future of tomorrow. And for the youth to go forward, we have to educate them. For the youth to go forward, when the school destroyed, our priority, the priority of any government is to help build back the school for them trying to go back out to school as quick as possible. But they did not see that. What they see is to help the businessman, one of the businessmen to get back the registration, to spread propaganda and to mislead people going to carry money. So parents, grandparents, you know the truth. Educate your children. If you educate them, Satan will lead them astray and give them false information. How about this?
Yes, scholar. But scholar, the NNP party are the one to continue providing education and information about the public. I believe it is necessary in light of the profound statement that the Prime Minister made that nothing has been achieved. So it's the NNP's responsibility and the public relation department to provide education and information on the successes of the NNP. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar.
And good afternoon to all the listeners and viewers. Mr. Pierre, first of all, right, talking about the Israel and the Middle East situation, you know, it's amazing when some of us come on air to express ourselves. We call people idiots and that sort of things for expressing our own view, right? You would believe what you believe. Someone else would believe what they believe, right? Irrespective of whatever facts or whatever documents is there, right? So to your caller before the last there, I mean, I think you should have some respect for other callers sharing their views when it comes to Israel and Palestine. Because not everybody share the views, right, of Zionism. And people fail to talk about Zionism. Now, the whole issue of Palestine and Israel, it didn't start on October 7th. It started years ago. But what ignites, in my view, right, is the apartheid system that the Jews, that the quote-unquote Israelis, right, are doing to the Palestinians, blockading them, basically starving them, and everything like that. No, you can't treat another brother like that, irrespective of what you believe, right? We are all humans, right? So we have to be very careful about when we're saying certain things about one set of people and the other set of people, because our God Almighty created every single one of us to his own image and likeness. He didn't make some and hate some, right? Because if it was bad, he would not have done it. Right, so we got to stop that, and I personally want to appeal to countries like Israel and the United States to stop aiding and stop killing so many people. For what? What are the reasons that you're killing thousands of people, right? In whose name? Not in God's name. You cannot do that, right? And people defending that foolishness about just bombing and just killing people indiscriminately. That is unacceptable. That is barbarism, apartheid, right? And we have to stay clear away from that. But anyhow, I also respect other person's view, right, about that. Secondly, Mr. Pierre, the whole question of the school feeding program in our schools, right? Our children are suffering at this point in time when it comes to the school feeding program. right? Letters were issued to different schools, right? And subsequently to the parents, informing them that as from today, students have to come with their own food. I mean, what kind of politician and so we have in our country?
So, Chief, just a while.
Starving our people.
Just a while.
Yeah.
That is a fact.
About the letter?
Some schools inform people to tell children to bring their own food.
That is a fact.
Right,
there is
okay.
a letter.
Okay.
There is a letter that a parent, I didn't see it, but the
parents
called
claim,
me,
yeah.
because he has 2 grandchildren in St. Mary's in particular, in St. Andrews. Yeah. They receive a letter telling them that there is no money to sustain the program.
And
so
you
parents
know,
have to
Color,
give,
you know that is
yes.
very unfortunate, because government,
very much.
A lot of the public don't understand how these things work. A school close to a business place would take things from the business place. Based upon the strength of the business place, sometimes months the business place don't get paid. But they have a saying, government money sure, but it does take long. So if your business is strong, you could absorb the delay. They made all kind of statements about the businesses that was providing that service for government during NNP period. They call them all kind of need. And now they cannot provide the means. You know,
I tell you,
it's really unfortunate.
Real poor people terrorists.
And sometimes you try to explain that to some of the NDC hardliners. Because the previous government was there for 2 terms, you would have had businessmen supporting the school for 2 terms in the NDC period to the same businessman. But they lambast some of these businessmen. And now they cannot.
Oh boy.
Sad.
They can't face them. You see, and the other thing, right? The students, the parents and so was accustomed over the years paying $1, sometimes $2, sometimes $3. And they were cool with that because they were guaranteed that their children would get a hot meal in school. Right? You take away that. You tell the parents nothing is free. School, free food, everything, and now the children can't get food.
But
I mean, that is crazy. Lastly, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, lastly, the government is continuing to break their own laws and rules. They are still continuing to pay cooks and cleaners in the different schools. I know in St. Andrews, GSS in particular is one of them, right? Where cleaners and so are still getting paid $700 and $800 the minimum wage. You understand? So they continue to, and who they're doing that? The poorest of the poorest, the most vulnerable of our people, they're doing that. And yet for all, they could spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to support a business ambassador in Dubai, right? And his children going to school and paying school fees for him off of the backs of the Grenadian people. How unfair. Anyhow, Mr. Pierre, have a good evening.
Yes, scholar, thank you. And I agree that sometimes we have to learn to respect people's opinion. And we don't have to call people dumb and idiots and etc. if they have. And that is why I took serious issues. That is why I take issue with the government statements. When they're calling people idiots, greedy and needy, clowns, you have a conversation with them, whether it is orally on Facebook, and they're ready to call you dumb. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Hey, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar.
The situation with the Israel, right, and the Palestinian there, is what really happened here is Hamas is the one that created all this drama in between Israel and between Israel and the Palestinians. The Palestinians want to live in side by side, together with Israel. They are brothers. They want to live in peace. They want to live. But Hamas is the one that taking the Palestinian kids, strap them up with suicide bomb, go over to Israel and kill Israelites. Hamas is the one that causing all this problem. The last incident that happened, Hamas is the one that come over in Israel and shoot down 1,200 Israelites. Hamas is the one. Some of the callers are not looking at the real picture of the situation. Hamas is the terrorist. Hamas is the one that doing that. Hamas and the Palestinian government cannot do nothing, because if they try to go against Hamas, they're killing them. So that's the situation. Is Hamas is the one, and then Hamas backed by
Iran,
Iran and all these
Hezbollah,
other
Syria,
Hezbollah and all. That's the
Russia,
situation. All these
China.
things. Look at the big picture of the situation, and don't blame America. Don't blame America for this. Who for them to blame? They're not blaming it. This is the whole situation here. This is the broad picture. Hamas is the terrorist group. Hamas is the one that causing all these things in the Middle East. Hamas, unless you don't get to the roots of this thing, you want to always say, well, America this, America that. No, America backing Israel because they want Israel they decide that Israel have a right to exist. And most of them like Iran and they don't want Israel to exist. No matter of fact, they want Israel to be wiped out of the face of the earth, and that's what they want, and that's their goal. Unless they don't achieve their goal, they wouldn't stop. But they wouldn't succeed. They would never succeed. All right, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar. And I always believe sometimes when I hear, yes, scholar, welcome. Caller, welcome. We lost that caller? You there, caller?
No, I'm here.
Go right
Yes,
ahead.
I'm here. Mr. Pierre, I'm a long time. Yes, I say it's a long time I've been looking.
Oh. You have to listen to us on the phone, though. The feedback will puzzle you. Turn down the... And listen to us and talk to us on the phone and listen to us on the phone.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, my
long time listener, first time caller.
Yes.
And it is kind of sad that we Grenadians, back in the side of the atrocity, the genocide that Israel doing to the Palestinian. The Israeli treat the Palestinian like animals, like the life don't matter. And if you have an animal in a cage and you've been juking them, you've been plucking them all over the place, when they get a chance to exit that cage, they will retaliate. Look how much thousands of lives that is lost. Over 1,200 people they killed in Israel. Right? What caused it? What led to these disturbances? It don't happen overnight. This thing been going on for years. You understand? And we as Grenadians, we back in the atrocity what Israel doing to these people. Everybody gonna say the Palestinian is a terrorist organization. They're gonna say Hezbollah is a terrorist organization. But as Maurice Bishop said, one man terrorist is another man freedom fighter. Is what lead to the violence in the Middle East. It is wrong. We have to look and see what caused the violence in the Middle East today. What the people in the West Bank did Israel. Hamas did something, okay, but what the people in the West Bank do, Israel, for them to be doing them the same thing? How much hundreds of people that get killed in the West Bank? It is unfair. We as a small island state should not be sitting and backing the wrong things that Israel and the US is doing. We need all the help in the islands. But when we as Little Grenada want to back the wrong that Israel doing, it's unfair. That is my contribution.
Thank you, caller. Yeah. Yes, thank you, caller. We have the sad part in Grenada here is that the government interfered with a school feeding system that was working. What the government needed to do was to strengthen the system. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, go right ahead.
Mr. Pierre, just quickly,
Go right ahead.
I just want to bring back some of our callers and listeners of the whole question of Israel and Palestine. Now, Israel was established in 1948. How was they established? What did they do, right, to establish themselves as a nation? It was the said thing they did. They brutalized and they murdered Palestinians and moved them away from their lands. And with the help of Britain, France, and so the United States was not so much there. These were the countries that propped up, right, the Zionist movement to establish that state in 1948. And that is where most of the violence, right, stemmed from, because of what they did to the Palestinians, moved them away from their land, you understand, exile them to all different parts of Arabs, right? And then we wondering and talking about Hamas and Hezbollah. Hezbollah and Hamas was born because of what is being done to their own people. Mr. Pierre, if you have family that every time they're being brutalized for whatever reason, one day you will get up and say, no, it has to stop. I mean, we have to be fair. I'm not supporting Hamas.
What do you think about the fact that the Quran disallow agreement between Israel and Jews, and they don't recognize Israel's right to exist? You see, these things go far back.
Right. Okay, Mr. Pierre, is the existence of Israel, the state of Israel in 1948, right? The Quran was brought way before the establishment of that state. It is, in my view, and I'm not disputing that the Quran, because I've never read the Quran, but it is my view, it was the leaders after the establishment of the state of Israel, right? These groups and them decided, look, if they can do our people that, then no, we cannot, I mean, we cannot support, right, or anything like that. So, look, we have to be very careful, in my view, about a lot of things. But we have to remember, right, the state of Israel was established in 1948, and how was it established, right? What did they do to establish that state of Israel? Did they murder? Did they ask people kindly to move about? And so, did they bulldoze people? We have to look at all this history and make a proper analysis. And then, you know, guys, it's not a side matter. We mustn't draw a side, but we must be fair in everything that we must try to be fair as much as possible in everything that we do. Because I cannot support one country because of your superiority in SON and bombs and everything. You will just massacre people all over the place. Come on, man. We have to have a conscience. Thank you, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar. That is an area of discussion. Perhaps people must have more regular in the rum shop and etc. Because you have a lot of history in it. It's not a very straight black and white. There is a lot of gray aspect. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre, good afternoon again.
Yes, my brother.
Now, when we're speaking of history, we have to be honest and speak the truth. There are people in this world who don't believe in Almighty God. So they hate Israel, they hate our Heavenly Father. Now, I am a Zionist. When you read the book, for example, in the book of Psalms, Psalms 131, 13 says, "For Jehovah has chosen Zion. He has desired in it for his habitation. This is my resting place forever. Here I will dwell, for I have desired it. I will abundantly bless her provision. I will satisfy her poor with bread. I will also clothe her priests with salvation, and her saints shall shout aloud for joy." And it goes on and on. David was king in Israel. Solomon was king in Israel. Israel wasn't founded in 1948. If we're speaking about history, let us speak the truth. Let us deal with history, right? All the lies that have been spread against Israel. For example, saying that Israel is an apartheid state and they've been pressuring the so-called Palestinian people. This is not true. Imagine the terrorists in Israel, the so-called Palestinians, they spend billions of dollars building tunnels and building up the ammunition. And so if they were isolated, then how come they were able to build up all these weapons and all these things? We have to deal with truth, and truth is what will prevail. Look at the people, the Israelis that are still in the dungeon, right, that the terrorists are holding. When I spoke of it, there were those who said that it was artificial intelligence. It never happened, right? Because they don't consider the Jewish people to be human beings. The main problem with them is that they don't believe in Almighty God, and they think that they will be able to destroy Israel. But I tell you what, they shall fail, because it is written, and how it is written, it shall come to pass. Israel shall survive. Thank you, sir.
Yes, and as we talk about history, I always remind people, when monkey write a story, monkey always right. When the Europeans said Columbus discovered, they were right. They didn't know about the place exists. And if the bishopites in Grenada write about the revolution, they consider it as a glorious revolution. Whereas I believe Maurice Bishop is a common criminal. So sometimes we have to look at the historicity in the history. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
I think your colors and them have it so wrong. This thing was even before you and I come on this earth, Mr. Pierre. His two brothers. Go back to the Bible. Read the scripture. This lawful and unlawful. Mr. Pierre, we don't know. We just keep talking and talking because they're murdering each other. Right? The same people they're talking about what Israel is murdering. Israel was helping. Israel was helping others to murder one another. And we must get it right. And it's very hard for we to get it right, Mr. Pierre, when he was so wrong. So who taking side now? Let me take side about Carrico and Pity Matnick.
Yes, scholar.
Let me take side about the government.
And tell me what is your position on it. Tell me what is.
Yes,
tell me what is your position on 100 house unit in Carrico, and the government would not give the people who needs it the most.
But yeah, this is what we have to talk about. What we want to think about Israel and the Palestinians. You understand me? Yeah, let them fight their war. We have our war to fight. You understand? I understand what Devon is trying to say. But Devon, you don't know. I don't know. This thing was long before we come on this earth. You understand? And two wrong cannot make a right. You understand? This is what they do. And we can't change that. We have to understand all of that. Let me concentrate on Grenada, Carrico, and Pity Matnick. What is going on in our country today? that is hurting more than Israel and the Palestinian. Let we get it right. Let we ask the Mitchell question and let we demand answers. We are not doing that. Deacon Mitchell have to come in front of us and answer to all what go on in Grenada for the last 2.5 years. That's what importance to us. You understand? We give them a chance and they betray us. They betray us, Mr. Pierre. And it's hurtful. You saw in New York when they went up there, they said they're having talks, you know, with to the people in New York. How much people show up? You don't see the whole place crazy? A year ago, the place full. Because, Mr. Pierre, people get fed up and tired. So let me talk about that. Have a good day, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar. And the government interfere with the food system. What you do, if something is working, you strengthen it. There is always room for improvement, but you strengthen it. The government wanted to do everything to embarrass the previous government, so they interfered with it. And now it doesn't seem that they have the ability to manage it. They lambast and they threaten and they label businesses that was providing the food stuff for the school to cook. And some of these businesses will wait months for payment. Obviously, the teachers run the tuck shop, and payments from the tuck shop don't go for government. So if you are a business place near a school and you are able to wait for money, you're a bigger business, then business do that because you want to support the school, the teachers shop by you, benefit anyway. But they label these businesses as getting free money. So now some of these businesses have tightened themselves. And the government is not providing the foodstuff on a timely basis for the school to cook. There are some schools where government is not paying the internet. So the schools don't have internet. There are some situations where the cooks, cleaners, and other workers are not getting the minimum wage. The government made a big ado about minimum wage. So these people are not getting minimum wage. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Page.
Yes, caller.
Yes, me. I want to endorse what you said and put some more strength in it. No, you have to be careful when you're in opposition. What you say, what you do. Because when you go, one day you will go in government and it may haunt you and haunt you badly. Even Glenwell warned NDC about that. When 3 teachers go on strike, other union teams go on strike, and you see they joining in the strike, raising placards and that kind of thing, criticizing that business place, this place. And then when you go in government now, it will come back to haunt you. And that is what taking place with this government today. So you see, when you criticize the business place is to help with credit the government, the food stuff for the school. And then when the government gets it, they pay the people and them. And then NDC criticize that whole system. Then you have where the children giving the school $1 a day. Now if you have 300 children in a school, $1 a day from each child, that's $300 a week. Yeah? When you check it out by the month, you'll bill up maybe about $1,200 or $1,500 for the month. That's helping to cover the cost of the food. And that was not a problem, was not a burden for the parents. We agree to that. I have a child going to school. We agree. No, you come and you tell us, free man, free. Because you want to look good in society. You want political mileage. But look at the consequences it's facing today. Look at the consequences it's facing, and it biting the government hard in the backside today. Yeah. So government and political parties must careful what they say in opposition. And you may do it for political mileage now, but when you reach in government, it's going to bite you. You're going to see the effect of it, and it may come back to hit you and hit you back real hard.
Yeah.
So sometimes we have to be careful. Thank you, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, I think the government is recklessly incompetent. Almost everything they touch is, even McDonald College is still on a shift system. One school in Grenada got minimum damage, and up to today they can't get it right. So that school is on a shift system. The government could have sent the children in the school, in different schools, based upon the proximity to where they live. So you have children on a shift system in McDonald College. They doesn't seem to get anything right. They don't get the pension right. They don't get the minimum wage right. I don't know, it's difficult. It's very difficult. I don't know where the government going with that. And they're very pig-headed. They're not hearing. They're very incompetent. It's a challenge for us. Every government that comes should try to do better. When government have a program, examine it and strengthen the program. You don't have to condemn everything you meet there. You don't have the talents. You don't have the talents to run it. You condemn it, and now you are suffering. We might be able to take another caller before we come to the end, so pick up a telephone and give us a call. Tell us about the NNP. The NNP had the General Council yesterday, and one hope they have the convention soon. People would take more interest in this convention than any other because a leadership change is expected. Dr. Kit Mitchell has indicated that he will not run back. He has not said anything to the contrary. So that is one of the reasons people are taking more interest in this convention to see who will evolve as the next leader. And correctly so. The NNP should institutionalize their conventions. They should institutionalize it. After 40 years, the NNP is the most successful story in Grenada. The most successful political story in Grenada. And Dr. Kit Mitchell has been at the helm for perhaps 35 of the 40 years. So when a leader remains at the helm of an organization for that long, and the leader has been so successful, he has never lost his seat. He has never lost his seat. And he been winning his seat by perhaps the biggest majority. He has won election on 3 occasions, beating up the NDC all the time, on 3 occasions. So that is extremely significant. And the NDC always struggle to make a term. Every time they come in power, they're like a recurring decimal. They do the same mistakes. They make the same mistakes with greater intensity. They attack the elderly. They're very insensitive to the elderly people, the physically challenged and disadvantaged children. They are the worst government where agriculture is concerned. I don't know what good NDC did for agriculture. I've asked many NDC farmers that, and they don't know. What good did NDC do for agriculture? None. What project, what program the National Democratic Congress had for youths? None. What initiative, what program they had for the elderly? You see, it's a government that is a group of individuals that come in power and they come with great hostility and bitterness. And they're not an inclusive group. And they think they're bright and smart. So they're kind of pig-headed. They don't take advice because they believe they know it all. And they have a culture of believing that they're in a different social class. So they always sound fractious and demeaning and dismissive of people in the lower income group. And you wonder why the NDC don't understand they have to change. You're making the same mistake every time with greater intensity. And this period is the worst period. They flaunt the law with impunity. They raid the GDB bank. And they continue to create much hardship for the people in the lower income group. It's interesting to find out why they're so hostile against the NNP, against the Imani program. Is it because you didn't have the vision to start it? Strengthen it. Every program needs to be strengthened. As you go along, you see the flaws. And what you need to do is to strengthen the program. Don't get rid of it. Michael Baptiste would tell you how to strengthen the Imani program. He has a lot of ideas about it. He always speaks about the Imani program because he was not satisfied with the effectiveness. He believed that program could be used to improve the youths. So speak to him. Get some ideas and strengthen the program rather than you continue to torture the individuals in the program. And we're back with you tomorrow between 12 and 1. And we thank all those who participate, listen. We encourage you to share our program and subscribe to RealFM, particularly at this present time. Thank you very much.